I believe for investor presentations, things can be very, very simple. We have looked at, I would say, dozens of decks, right? Conference decks, investor day decks, overview decks. I would say 7 out of 10 decks fall under this structure. You will have some main messages up front. For an overview deck, you might want to say, we have a great strategy in place. We are living up to our commitments. We know the future. Here's how we'll get there, But most of the decks, right, what I've seen is you can split them into 2 sections. One is a business section. One is a finance section. Typically, I see CEOs presenting the business section, right? And CFOs presenting the finance section. If it's a large company with multiple business unit heads, those business unit heads could be presenting this section. But if you are thinking about your next, overview presentation or conference presentation, I would say just start here. Split it into 2 big sections, if you think of, and then within each, right, start thinking about what you want to convey. A lot of times companies are just focusing on 3 or 4 big pillars of their strategy and communicating that. Sometimes companies are breaking their business part, right, by business unit, right? What's the macro looking like? What does the competition look like? What are we doing? What are our goals? And then the finance portion, right? Again, I've seen it's always like start with the top line revenue, go to the EPS or bottom line or margin, depending on your business model, right? Some companies will say, how are we spending our CapEx? What are we doing with our bottom line, right? We are giving away dividends, we are doing M&As, and then always, right, you're giving guidance. Thought I'll share a couple examples. This is exactly how this company, right? This was part of a conference presentation, and this is their business section, right? This is their strategy. There are 4 pillars to their strategy. And then you talk about each of the pillars, and this is how the slides are arranged, 1, 2, 3, 4, go to the next strategy, double click on it, next strategy, double click on it. So very actionable. You can totally apply this, in your next presentation.